On your mark. Set.
Welcome to Inside Sports. I'm your host, Nod Leroy. In this week's episode, we'll be putting under the microscope women's football. What are some of the challenges regarding its development? What is happening with the Women's Premier League? And we'll also be looking at the challenge series involving Jamaica, the United States, and Nigeria. More when we return. Welcome back to Inside Sports. I am Nod Leroy. So the women's team will be participating in the WNT Summer Series in Houston, Texas. The women will play Nigeria on the 10th and the US on the 13th. With me to discuss the team selected and the significance of their involvement in this tournament is Tony Cowan, former National Under-15 Girls head coach and head coach of University of Technology women's team, and also Neil Oxford, CEO of Rainers Football Academy, which is Jamaica's first and only female football academy. Tony, Neil, welcome to Inside Sports. Okay, outside of the fact that there are no local based players in the squad, what other issues, if any, do you have with the squad selected?
Wow, issues outside of it being a local, not being a local squad, not necessarily not being local, but not having any players. The fact that we got some players from England that we've necessarily not really seen, and they've just come in now for the first set of games. You know, we have players that we've been using throughout the years with the other qualifiers that we could be taking some look at again and having them. So that's one of the issues, that's to have players that are just coming in. We spoke about it with the male program. The same thing where UK-based players just come and they join the squad. You don't know much about them. The players don't know much about them. Just how that's going to work with the chemistry of the team. Most of the other girls, they've played with each other before, so they know each other. There's some sort of familiarity, but with the new base players, we're not really sure what that's going to look like right now.
Well, I think there was a camp in the US, short, so that may help with that. Neo, you normally have a lot of issues. What other issues do you have, if any?
The female team looks as much confused as the male team. Since we've been to the World Cup, we've changed coach. Coach has been in, one has come out, one has changed again. Now we've seen new girls being implemented to the team. So it seems a bit confusing with World Cup qualifiers starting later this year. You'd expect, just as with the male team, that would have had a squad that we know what we're looking at. In this new squad, you have, what, 6 girls who are looking to make debuts?
Yep.
I'm not saying we won't welcome them, but I still expect that a team would have been there. You said a while ago they entered Kanya in the team in the second list. How do you leave out
the first list?
She was in the first list.
Yes.
The list that I saw, she wasn't in there any at all. So, I question that. So it seems a bit confusing. It seems a bit rushed. It seems as if we're just less than 6 months away from our qualifiers, and we're still like chickens without heads.
Well, wow. We also have new coaches. We have a goalkeeper coach and assistant coach. Where did you not see the new names?
You see the names, but what comes with the name? I mean, we've changed the coach from the World Cup. I understand that coaches come and coaches go. But why are we just getting this new coach now?
And, well, Xavier is still a part of the unit.
Well, I understand that.
Oh,
and then makes it a bit harder for me when you look at, we have Andrew Price, who's always around the female program, Xavier, who is always around the female program. Then there's a 31-member squad picked.
No local players.
Who are some of the players that you'd have wanted to see involved in this?
I mean, I won't call names right now.
But I'm asking you to call names.
I'm not going to call names right now, but if you look at the squad that we had for the 17s and the 20s, there are quite a few players in that squad that I believe could be in the... I wouldn't necessarily say Lacey. I've played with Lacey, but there's a Nevergale Abel that's with Excelsior. There's Christina. There are quite a few players locally based that would make up our under 20 squad, where this would be a good showing for them, a good time for them to go out there and show the coaches what they can possibly do.
Let me ask you this, because you did speak of the under 20, and there's a young lady who was a leading scorer in the Women's League the last time it was played. She goes to Excelsior as well. That's Christina. And we're seeing one young lady, one coming up from the under 20, as in Peyton McNamara. She looked quite good in that tournament. For the males, there's normally they have had camps to give them opportunities to play. Why wasn't the same done for the females?
That's a question you have to ask the JFF.
I'm going to
outside of COVID protocols and all that, but that's a question you'd have to ask
I'm going
them.
to ask Neo the same thing. Also, there's no one batting for the restart of the Women's League. Why? Neo?
Let's look at it. Throughout COVID, the JFF tried on many occasions to get a male camp going, to look at local talents. Now, at local camp for females, if you look at the female aspect of it, a lot of them are young. They're from the high school system.
Under 20.
No, under 20, most of them are under 20, who we'll be looking at. Why haven't they been in a camp throughout the COVID period?
But that's what I'm asking you. Could you tell me?
I couldn't tell you.
I couldn't tell you.
But you're both coaches.
But you look at it
in the women's program.
I have my girls training.
Our girls are training.
My girls
Exactly.
are training.
We have
so if
training
under
going
15
on.
national team.
Does that mean you're breaching?
We train individually. So it's me and a girl, me and a girl.
And
It's not 20 girls. The most we have at the time is 9.
Okay.
In our open space. So we are training. The girls are individually getting ready, but on a collective aspect of it. Or if you look at other teams, how many other girls are actually training at the moment?
I'm not aware of any.
None. So why have we not been able to, Tony mentioned it, there's an under 15 team, an under 17 team, an under 20 team, all inactive for almost 2 years since the schoolgirl football league played. So almost 2 years. And we've not seen even to say, let's get these girls together. The team is there. There is a local team. It's not as if how they do it with the boys and stuff. You see a kid coming from Atlanta, one coming from Florida. There is a local team. That when they call it for trials here at the JFF Center, you see up to 25 girls from Dallas, Portland. Why haven't we had that for even once?
One weekend.
Good question. And money is there for that. But getting back to this national team with these two friendlies, Khadija Shaw has been our major goal threat for the longest time. 31 goals in 34 matches, almost a goal a game, and 7 assists. Where are the goals going to come from?
That's a very good question.
No, could you give me a very good answer?
I'm going to answer. We'd hope to find them, hopefully, from the midfield and the more senior players that played last year. I mean, without Bonnie Shaw, as you said, we don't really have much of a goal threat. I mean,
there's Kayla McCoy.
There are a few players we know that can get us a goal, but in terms of that goal threat, when you see that person on the ball, they're going to put it in the back of the net. We're going to be lacking from that, so we just have to hope that the midfielders can produce the opportunities and we can get on the end of it, but we're definitely going to miss Bonnie Shaw.
Any reason as to why she's not around?
Don't know.
Secret.
Tired?
Yeah, she's been playing. That's the only thing I could think, that she just need a break.
I know that they said that she's looking to make a transfer this summer, so that could be the major aspect of it. I'm sure.
Don't want her to get injured, probably, not friendly. You know what you're going to get from Bonnie.
Okay. So where are the goals going to come from, Neo?
It's hard to say. I think majority of the local people might be hoping that Jody Brown can do something. But I mean, are the coaches looking for goals this game, or is it a game that we're looking to
just to see players,
to see people, a lot of new faces? Let's see how they look. We know. I think the difference with the female team, the national senior team, compared to the male team, is that those coaches know already who they are, who they have, and who they expect to come out on the 11. There's not that much pressure on them from a public's eye.
True.
So they're saying, okay, we have 6 new faces that we can use them. We're playing against America, well, then Jamaica can't expect us to win that. So let's just go out there. And that's their perception. I believe
That's what you believe to
that's
be.
what, yeah. I'm sure
That's
they are in the
across.
dressing room saying, we can beat these guys if we do this and do that. But the pressure
The
on them is
reality
not that much. So I think these 2 games that they'll be playing will just be to see what's new.
Neo, I know you're a man who likes to do research or pretend that you do, but these girls who are coming in seem to have some pedigree. I think Vian Salmon was at Arsenal for a while, maybe Tottenham before. So what have you looked at some of these names new names that you saw popping up? You may answer that too after Tony.
I've seen them. The one I'm most happy about is the one from Chelsea. Can't remember her name right now. There's somebody from Chelsea in the team who everyone has said she'd be a good addition. I've seen her throughout the Premier League season to some extent. So there, as I said earlier, there are some good additions to get them. But we have to also say, not because it's from Chelsea or Arsenal or Tottenham means
They're going
that
to make an immediate impact when they come on the team.
If they do, if they do and they come in these 2 games, I'll be happy with it, because coming September 13th when we start in the qualifiers, that means we'll be stronger. But will we allow them that transitional period? Are there more games coming up after this? I don't think so.
Are there more camps coming up after this?
Are there more camps coming up? So
There should be. Let's go for a break, and on our return, Neo, I'll jump right back at you. Welcome back to Inside Sports, where we're looking at the friendlies to be played by our reggae girls. And with me are Tony Cowan and, unfortunately, Neo Oxford. Neo is my good friend. I'm just messing with him. So, Neo, I'm putting you on the spot again. The Nigerian team, I know you do a lot of research. What do you know about, I know they're ranked about 39th, and both of you have given up on us getting a positive result out of the US game. How will it go against Nigeria?
to be honest, I expect us to beat Nigeria. I expect us to put our strongest team out at the start against Nigeria. Look how the game goes. Despite their ranking, yes, they're up there, but they're pretty much athletic as we are here in Jamaica. So a tactical standpoint of a game, I think that will come down to the coaches. That match, I think we can pull a result. I think that's the game where the coaches will be looking at, let's get a result here and then save face against the USA.
Tony?
I mean, I think we can get a result from the game, but the biggest
A loss is a result.
I think we can get a positive result from the game, let's put it that way. We can get a positive result from the game. But I do believe that we just haven't played well enough. We haven't played long enough together. And that team chemistry is very, very, very important in football. And the Nigerian team has been together, they've been training, they've come up together. And it's going to be the easier of the two games, of course, but I don't really see much coming out of it. I honestly believe that the games are just going to be for the coaches to look at the individual players, see who they can put where, try and figure out what's going to be happening for September. So that's how I see the games being viewed.
All right. The last time we played US in a CONCACAF game, we got 6-0. What can we do to bridge this gap, the divide that exists between us?
I mean, you'd have to look at the female football from a developmental standpoint. You know, everybody knows that our counterparts, especially America, Canada, and Mexico, they play more football than us. They start at an earlier age from us. So if we really want to bridge the gap, we have to look at our development. If we can't do that, then we're going to have to take the senior program a little bit more seriously in terms of getting a squad together, making sure the local girls are together, the senior ones and the foreign-based ones, having more consistent camps, having more consistent trainings, and then maybe we can try and bridge the gap that way, but it's going to take a lot.
Neil, your thoughts?
I'm trying hard to find thoughts. You said everything that I would have said.
Okay, what about this, Neil? We have a schoolgirls league. One, is it long enough? And two, do we need a second schoolgirls league? Because with male football, we have under 14 all the way up to under 19. For the females, we just have one league. It's pretty short. not enough schools? You tell me. You're the expert.
I'm
Neil.
not sure we
You're in
have
it.
enough time, but let's go. Prep school league has a prep school league. Primary school has a primary school league. In the high school, under 14 is there, under 16 is there, under 19 is there. Then you have, if you go in the club system, there's 13, 15, 17, 20. It leads from there, you go to big man football, which is 20 and up, right? Let's look at the female aspect. Under 19 is a schoolgirl league.
That's it.
Women's Premier League. That's it.
That's it.
That is it. So if you are 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, you have to just find somewhere and train, hope that it can teach you, and you wait until you reach the high school. Let's say you start in high school, if you're 12, if you're not good, you won't be seeing the field because you're playing against girls who are 19, right? So you have to, when you reach around 15, then hopefully you can, if your team has a female football team there, only 40 schools in the entire Jamaica is in the ISA League. Right? So your question is, yes, more female teams are needed, more competitions are needed, and the rules have to change also, because if I am in Kingston and St. Andrew, I cannot start a club specifically for women and get affiliated with CASAFA unless I have a male aspect.
Team.
Right? And then I have to follow those instructions which say you must have an under 13 team, you must have either under 15 or under 17 team, and you must play male senior football. So I have to fill out all that before I can say I want to focus on women football.
So there clearly is an imbalance.
Very much so. In 2018, while I was coaching Meadowbrook, I had to take my 13 and 14-year-olds because lack of football is there, and put those very same girls into the Women's Premier League to enter that, in order to teach them that, because the coaches will tell you match experience is where you get better at the game. So we had 14, 12, 13, 11-year-old girls playing against women who were 25, 30.
27, 32.
And not only that, those girls went to the quarterfinals in the Women's Premier League. So that also shows you where a women's league is.
Quickly, in terms of, do we need coaches who understand how to coach women physically and psychologically? Is there?
Definitely.
Okay.
It's definitely. Women psychologically think and operate differently than men. They do. And whereas sometimes there's some girls where you can shout at them from now till kingdom come, and they take it and they go on the field and they're yes. And then we have some players with us at Real Mona where if you say hi to her too hard, she's done. She doesn't want to play.
Wow.
You know? So of course.
So you have to understand the female psyche.
You do.
All right. I tried to ask you before, but I'm going to ask again. Is there any news coming out about the women's league?
No. Not that I know of, Neil.
I have heard of that. I think last time we heard something on TV was that they are looking at it.
They're looking at it.
And that's what we've been hearing. We're looking at it, we're looking at it. Well, it's time for us to see it.
Does this have an effect on the number of girls who play, the age of the girls who play, and the background of the girls who play? You first, Tony.
Tony first, okay.
Yes and no. Yes, in terms of the age of the girls and the background and all that. Because there's some parents, as you say, background. You have the middle class and the uptown parents who don't want to send their girl to play football. Because what they're going to tell you is, don't want her to turn a man, don't want her to turn a lesbian. I've heard it all. You know, it's just up to you as the coach, as I say, or the club, to show that parent that, look, this is how we operate. Yes, she's going to be exposed, but, you know, are you willing to, I can show you this is how we do our things here. But you can't change them background.
Neo?
I mean, I exactly what Tony said. I have a player who I made the face of my team. She's young, she's 14, she has the brightest smile in the world.
Lily.
So if you see 3 of my girls, you're like, oh, little Monica can go and join that team. Right? So it really comes down to the image. And yes, you are right, it's hard because I have seen many parents, many fathers, many mothers, no coach. No, we've seen what was there, but it's something that if we all as clubs and as coaches work together, it can easily come out. We have to be disciplined. We have to know that the biggest problem that we have here in Jamaica is that we are holding on to female footballers to win. So you have girls who are 35. I played Premier League, carry my little 16, 15-year-olds, and we're there early, we're ready to play. Then you have girls coming in and about them hand, coming to play a football game.
So why didn't they wash their hands?
Right? So we can change it, but we have to know, I said it to Tony on our way here, when will our leagues, not just Premier League, when will our leagues become development leagues to say, this is what the league is about. Let us work on doing this, right? You can't have, in the schoolgirl league, Excelsior beating a team 18, 19, 20,
25.
21, 25. No, in a league that's struggling, I will never forget, Nodley, my first season, Meadowbrook versus Denham Town. 18 goals to nil. When it was 15, the coach did not make one change. And I said, Coach, it's 15, love.
Give your other girls a chance.
Give your other girls. Welcome to schoolgirl league. Now I said to myself, if a normal school, because when it came on to my program, I told the principal that I'll take it on. Right? If there's another school where the principal is actually, but that don't make no sense. Don't bother with it. And then you come back and say, how the game go? We know we get 18.
Wrap up this program.
Where are you next year?
Wrap up this program with them.
So there also needs to be another tier of football.
Indeed.
That you have the top 8, top 10 play that, right? And then you have the development aspect of it, and that's what our female football is missing in Jamaica, a development aspect where it's not about just winning. We're saying that let's teach. A lot of coaches in the top teams, teaching is not there.
As you know, Nodley, former national coach, I watch my under 15 girls do very well. We come back, we go to the Premier League, them join teams, and they can't get a game because they have to fight against 35-year-olds. And why? Because we want to win. But them go back to them Premier League club, and they want to play, they need to be developed. But the coach is going to look at you and tell you, I want to win this thing, so I cannot play you. And then 6 months after the Premier League, you know what we have? Under 17 competition, national. And the same under 15 girls who went back to their clubs wanting to play, they're not going to get the game time. We as coaches at national level, we don't see them enough. So we're depending on the schoolgirl league, depending on the Premier League. But we don't get it because the coaches just want to win.
So maybe then there needs to be a bridging league, maybe an under 20
and we spoke
league.
about that.
Before you continue, the JFF will come out and say, but we have an under 15 league. Yes, they do. That happens every 2 years.
Only in conjunction with the CONCACAF under 15 championship.
So
that is the only reason that is going on.
Because they're going to come and say that we have an under 15, which happens
Every 2
every
years.
other year.
Okay. And here's the other thing. It takes cash to care. Why so difficult to attract sponsorship to women's football?
Really
Why?
mentioned that,
You
the
said
image,
it already, it's just the
image
image.
problem. So once we fix
Well,
the image
we did
problem-
say there was an image problem, but we didn't link it to a lack of sponsorship. So do you foresee a day when sponsors will come on board, maybe the producers of feminine products and nutritional products, maybe adopting teams? Do you see that day? You first, Tony.
We can hope for it.
You don't see it?
I can hope for it. I don't want to say I can see it with this current setup that we have at the JFF, and that's just the truth about the situation. But we would hope to see Jamaica do what our other Caribbean countries are doing with the money that they get from FIFA. Because there was a time when it was Jamaica and Trinidad. And now we have Costa Rica that we're going up against. We have the Curaçaos that we're going up
Panama
against. We
coming
have the
up too.
Panamas that we're going up against. And we are no longer the powerhouse because we have not been investing in the development of the girls. You know, so we have to try and figure that out.
That's all the time we have for this episode of Inside Sports. Our guests were Nia Oxford and Tony Cowan. And we sincerely wish the Reggae Girls all the best in their upcoming games. This has been Inside Sports. Thanks for watching.